Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Fredbear from the Blessed Heroes coming at you with Chapter 3 of Mochi. Now, before we get started, I just want to give a quick apology for not uploading for a while now. I've just been really busy with school, work, and a few other stuff. But now that I'm here, let's get the video started. Roll that intro.
They say it's fucking heinous, cause I'm the type of dude that you know is fucking dangerous.
Deku, the Mochi, Chapter 3, the start of the crew. It's been 2 years ever since Izuku Midoriya has run away from home and began his journey to get stronger and change the world. At the beginning of his journey, he had to learn how to survive within the woods and forest. As he moved from town to town, city to city, and more, it was thanks to his master, Katakuri, and his knowledge that he was able to survive and greatly improve his skills in strength, speed, survivability, and as well mentality, along with his devil fruit ability. During the beginning of the second year, he met Shinzo. Shinzo was living in a terrible home with an abusive mother, and with a whole family treating him terribly because of his quirk. Izuku got him to join his crew and run away with him for a new life, as they both never looked back. Shinzo was a bit worried and hesitant at first, but after the first 2 weeks, he got used to sleeping outside and inside a tent, and learned how to camp and survive. As time went on, Shinzo saw Deku like an older brother. It was thanks to him that he was able to smile and actually be happy for once in his life, instead of being miserable, thanks to all the other kids bullying him, saying that he was a villain, along with his mom adding to the abuse. During their travels, both Izuku and as well Shinzo began to train their bodies, quirk, and devil fruit. During the time of training, Deku had asked Katakuri if he could possibly train others on how to use haki. Katakuri told Deku that it was possible to teach others how to use haki, but they have to train their body to go beyond a superhuman. After 3 weeks, Deku began to train Shinzo's body, along with his mentality, as well as explain to him what haki was. Shinzo was shocked to hear what haki was, and that anybody could learn it on how to use it, but they would require a person to teach them on how to use it, for it was very rare for someone to just automatically awaken it. As they both moved forward on their travels, they would have frequent sparring matches, muscle training, workouts, and technique training, throwing punches, kicks, blocking, and as well learning how to change their stances. Thanks to Deku's training, the fruits, veggies, and meat that they were eating, Shinzo's body was greatly improving. Now, back in the past, Deku and Katakuri were not doctors by any means, but when they first saw Shinzo's body, it looked very unhealthy. It was thin, like really thin, visible bone-shaped thin. Once Deku brought it up, it turns out that his mother only gave Shinzo enough food to be okay, but never satisfied. So the first week was spent getting Shinzo's body the physical nutrients that it needed in order to grow and improve. As the days went on, they began with small exercises and training to help Shinzo build up muscle. After the first month had passed, Shinzo's body had been improved greatly. He had gained some weight and his body looked much better. Deku couldn't see as many bones as before, and as Shinzo seemed much healthier and happier. Shinzo's body looked like a regular 8-year-old body should, with a little bit of muscle. The rest of the year was spent traveling, training, and building up their bodies, with the occasional run-in with a thief or a criminal. As they moved forward, they ate the food that they packed, and sometimes could even go to eat at restaurants. This was possible due to the thieves and as well other scumbags run-ins with. Shinzo's brainwashing quirk helped out big time. It was thanks to his brainwashing that he was capable of getting the thieves and other people who tried to steal from Deku and Shinzo or hurt them to give up their money to them and turn themselves into the cops. Other times, Deku would just need to step. Other times, when Shinzo's quirk wouldn't be able to take an effect, or the villain or thug was just didn't respond to any of Shinzo's questions, Deku would have to step in and deliver a beatdown before they both called the cops and left the thugs there to be arrested. As they traveled, Shinzo's body began to develop more and more as he was getting stronger and stronger and much faster. They are now at the end of the second year and starting the third year on the road. They made their way to the next town that was located right next to the ocean. Deku smiled as he saw the great blue ocean waters, as he burst out into a sprint as he wanted to see more of this place. Hey, wait! Shinzo yelled at Deku as he began to run, trying to keep up with Deku. Deku didn't listen as he kept on running until he was on a small hill. As he stopped and looked down at the seawater, as he took in a deep breath of fresh air, Shinzo caught up with Deku and was out of breath from their small sprint. Deku would smile and pat Shinzo's back as he began to look around and spot a small town to the left. After a few minutes of Shinzo catching his breath, Deku began to walk in the direction of the town, Shinzo close behind. As both Deku and Shinzo entered the small town, they noticed that they were in some sort of farmer's market. As they both looked around and began to shop for some fruits and other goods that they could eat or sell, a lot of people were very nice and kind. However, a few of them were whispering to each other with some questioning looks. Deku was confused by this, but soon saw why. At the end of the farmer's market, on a billboard at the edge of he saw two wanted posters. The two wanted posters that caught Deku's eye both had small kids in it. The first wanted poster had a picture of a girl on it, a young girl, and she looked to be part frog with a bounty of $1,000 with the words "Only Alive" on it. The second wanted poster had a small boy who had weird purple orbs on his head. His bounty was the same as the girl's, with the words "Only Alive." I gotta include a quick author's note. Down in the comment section below, tell me what you guys want me to use. US dollars, yen, or berries. Sorry for the quick interruption. Let's get back to the video. Why do you think those two kids are wanted? Deku asked Shinzo. Shinzo was confused at first, but then saw the two wanted posters Deku was looking at. I don't know, but this explains a bit on why the people in the farmer's market were giving us weird looks. They might have thought we were with them, Shinzo said as he turned around and began to walk away from the billboard. They only got a few feet away from the billboard before Those two kids came out of nowhere and attacked them. Deku was right about the girl, as she looked to have some sort of frog quirk. As she was hopping all around, Shinzo and Deku trying to snag their stuff. The boy came out running and grabbed a few of the purple orbs on his head, and pulled them off and started throwing them at the duo. Deku and Shinzo were both caught off guard, but soon retaliated quickly, thanks to their training. You forgot to keep your observation active again, Katakuri told Deku. Why didn't you tell me? This method makes it less likely for you to forget. Ugh. Deku groaned as he avoided most of the purple orbs that were thrown at him by the small boy. Shinzo ducked under a kick from the frog girl sent at him. Who are you, and why are you attacking us? Shinzo said to the girl as he looked right at her. Deku instantly knew what Shinzo was planning. Why should I tell you? She said as Shinzo activated his quirk. She instantly stopped jumping all around and stayed completely still. Deku smiled and put his attention to the small boy in front of him. Deku was having a bit of trouble because he didn't know what his quirk was. Although Deku knew that it had to do something with the purple orbs that he was throwing at him. Deku was dodging the orbs that the boy was throwing at him, but Deku soon stopped as he saw blood coming out of the kid's head. Hey, are you bleeding? Deku said as he began to walk over to the boy. The kid took this chance to throw one of the purple orbs right in front of Deku. Deku realized too late as he stepped onto the orb. Deku tried to jump back a bit, but to get out of the boy's range. But when he did, he found out what the orb's ability was. The orb was really sticky, as it held Deku's foot in place. Deku began to use superhuman strength to free himself, but to his surprise, he couldn't. I need to finish this now, Deku said to himself as his right arm turned into mochi. Deku left his hand as it was and clenched it into a fist. Mochi, mochi, pistol! Deku yelled as he launched his fist right at the boy. Ah! The boy screamed as he didn't have time to dodge the attack, as Deku had punched him right in the face. The force of the punch launched the boy back, knocking him out and breaking his nose, as blood began to squirt out of it. Ooh, overdid it! Deku said as his arm came back and turned back to normal. Deku tried to walk over to the boy that he knocked out, but the purple orb held his right foot to the ground. What are these things? Deku yelled as he tried to get free from the orb that was holding him. Why don't we ask her if she knows? Shinzo said as he gave the frog girl an order to walk up to Deku. Shinzo soon cleared his throat before asking, First, tell me who you two are. Second, tell me, what are your quirks? And third, why did you attack us? Shinzo said to the girl, wanting answers. My name is Suyu Asui. My quirk is called Frog. My quirk allows me to do anything that a frog can do. My partner's name is Minoru Mineta. His quirk Pop-Off allows him to produce and pluck ball-shaped orbs from his head. The balls grow back as fast as they are plucked. The balls are incredibly sticky and will stick to any surface. The sole exception being Mineta, as he'll just bounce off of them. The duration of their stickiness quality is determined by his overall health. The now named girl named Asui explained who they were and what their quirks were. Deku was finally able to free his foot from the purple orb. Deku walked over to Mineta and picked him up and carried him in his arms. Deku soon walked up to Shinzo, wanting to hear the rest of Asui's explanation, as she only answered the first two questions Shinzo had asked. Why did you attack us? Shinzo asked, wanting his third question answered. We tried to steal from you because we were low on food and supplies. We saw you two in the farmer's market with lots of money and spending it on food and supplies. We got desperate as we are runaway orphans from the orphanage up north. The place was terrible as the staff and the other kids made fun of me because of my quirk and said I was a freak. They did the same to Mineta because of his weak and weird quirk. The staff said nothing and even encouraged them to continue or made it worse. She told them what was what they needed to know. Shinzo, release her from your quirk, Deku said. Done, Shinzo said as he flicked Suyu's head. As soon as he did, her eyes turned back to normal. She looked at both of them and gave a small, scared ribbit when she saw her partner in Deku's arms. We aren't going to hurt you, but we need more information, Suyu, Deku told her, trying to keep her calm. She gave a small smile, but then took a closer look at her partner and gasped as she noticed the broken nose. Is he okay? She asked, worried about him. He'll be fine, but we need a first aid kit to help his broken nose. Deku told her a bit of regret about what he did. Follow me, she said as she began to walk in the direction of the beach. Both Deku and Shinzo followed as Deku carried Mineta in his arms. They walked for a while as they went far away from the populace of the small town. They kept on walking for half an hour as both Deku and Shinzo were both shocked to see a decently sized ship for 5 people or a few more. A few clothes were being hung up on the ropes, as it was either a fake flag or they just put them up there to dry. The group of 4 kept on walking, getting closer to the ship. Deku used his observation hockey to look around, to see if anybody was inside the ship or watching them from a distance. He saw nobody, as they were quite far away from the town. Suyu got on the main deck and opened a door. In here, she said, so they all entered into the resting quarters of the ship. Both Shinzo and Deku did as they were told and got into the ship and entered the resting quarters. Inside, they saw 2 beds that were on the left and right side of the room, a hammock, a bathroom, a shower, a dresser, a table in the middle of the center of the room. Deku put Mineta down on a bed on the right side while Tsuyu got the first aid kit. Shinzo was looking all around, trying to learn more about these 2 from whatever he could find. Deku opened the first aid kit and got all the supplies that he would need. You won't need any of those, Katakuri said from within Deku's mind. What do you mean? Deku asked Katakuri quietly, so that the others didn't hear him. Place some ice, wrapped in cloth, over his nose for about 15 minutes at a time, and then remove the ice. This process can be repeated multiple times throughout the day. Use the ice at the time the injury for 1 or 2 days. Afterwards, reduce the pain and the swelling. A broken nose usually will heal up on its own. However, we may need medical attention if it does not get any better, or if his nose starts to change shape. Once Katakuri said this, Deku turned to Asui. Hey, Tsuyu, got any ice? Deku asked her, following Katakuri's advice. Call me Sue. And yes, we do got some. She said as she got up and walked out of the room, into the main deck of the boat. Shinzo, follow her. Deku told him, so she wouldn't try and pull anything. As Deku still didn't completely trust Asui. Shinzo nodded and went outside with Suyu to get the ice. Deku soon began to get out a cloth as he asked, how do you know about healing a broken nose? Deku asked Katakuri as he got cut the cloth to make it smaller for the ice. It's because of my 81 younger brothers and sisters, and each one of them had their fair share of broken noses, scrapes, or something horrible happened to them. Katakuri said as Deku's eyes widened in shock from what Katakuri had said. 81 younger brothers and sisters? Deku yelled out in shock on how big Katakuri's family was. Well, in total, Mama had 85 kids, 46 sons, and 39 daughters. I was the second born, with a set of triplets. My brothers, Charlotte Oven and Daifuku. While we had one older brother, firstborn Charlotte Perispero. Katakuri told Deku. Deku was amazed that his master Katakuri was the second eldest out of 85 brothers and sisters. Before Deku could continue thinking about this, he heard the sound of footsteps coming down the stairs into the room. Shinzo and Sue walked back into the room with a cooler full of ice. Deku grabbed some of it and placed it inside the cloth and pressed it against Minetta's nose. Where'd you get the ice? Deku asked Sue. You don't want to know, Shinzo said. Before Deku could question this, Minetta groaned in pain as he opened his eyes. As soon as he did, he began to tear up, holding the cloth full of ice against his nose. My nose, he said, trying to hold back his tears. Deku held the cloth to his nose, trying to apply a little bit of pressure. Ow! Minetta yelled as he grabbed the cloth out of Deku's hand and loudly hit. Sorry, too much pressure? Deku asked, him not knowing what happened. Minetta was about to cry, but Deku tried to calm him down. There, don't cry. Dang it! Deku yelled as 3 of Minetta's orbs were stuck onto his left hand. Deku tried to get them off as he shook his arm all around. He even tried turning him into mochi. While this was happening, all 3, Minetta, Shinzo, and Tsuyu, were all laughing at Deku. Ravi just gave a happy smile as soon as they all calmed down and Deku was capable of freeing his arm from the purple orbs. Shinzo got all of them back on topic. Alright, we had our fun, but now we need answers. Tsuyu sighed and nodded. I at least owe you guys that much, and call me Sue. She sat down on her bed while Shinzo and Deku sat down at the table. Minetta was laying down in his bed, holding the bag of ice against his nose. To start off, me and Minetta are orphans. The reason why we're orphans, we don't know. One day, we're with our families. The next, we're in that orphanage. Without any knowledge of what happened or anything. The orphanage was horrible, as they made fun of me and Minetta for our quirks, on how it made us look. How it made us weak or weird. They called me freak show, ugly, disgusting, Because my frog quirk, she said, fighting back the tears. She isn't alone. Mineta said as he sat up. The staff was worse, as they even encouraged the kids to make things harder or worse for others. If they had an evil quirk, weird quirk, or no quirk at all. Deku and Shinzo listened to what Mineta and Sue had to say. Deku was turning red as he was having a hard time controlling his anger as he listened to everything that they said. How is this place even still running, is my question. Deku yelled out. They're either really good at hiding it, or the town and heroes just don't care, Katakuri answered Deku within his mind. Deku looked over to Shinzo and he wasn't faring much better to the information that they were told. Shinzo was full on rage as he knows what it's like to be treated horribly. After 2 years of me and Mineta finally had enough of it and ran away from the orphanage. We've been living in this small boat that we have stolen after our first hideout was burnt down. And we have been stealing food, clothes, and other stuff in order for us to survive. You both aren't the first that we have robbed, but you are the first to capture us, Sue said, crossing her arms. What will you both do with us now? She asked, wanting to end this conversation, scared of what Deku and Shinzo would do with her and her friend. Deku was in deep thought as he was going over the information Mineta and Tsuyu had told them. The story explained how they had wanted posters and why they were living in this boat all alone, without any parents or guardians. 2 minutes had passed as Deku had finally made his decision. Deku stood up and looked at Sue and Mineta. Join my crew, was the only thing that Deku said. Both Mineta and Sue looked at Deku as if he was crazy. But Deku began to explain his reasoning. You both are exactly what I'm looking for. You guys know what it's like to be treated like outcasts. I want to change that. That is why I'm forming a crew, to change this world's views on heroes and people like us. Deku told them as he wanted them to join. Mineta was looking at Deku if he was insane. Are you kidding me? He told Deku, listen, I know I'm in. Sue said as Deku was instantly cut off and looked at her. Really? Shinzo asked, as he was surprised by this. Yeah, it would be great to be with a new group of friends and to change the world for more people like us. Ribbit. She looked up at Deku with a happy smile and hope in her eyes. Deku smiled and soon turned to Mineta, wanting his answer. Mineta looked at Deku hesitantly, but sighed and looked down at the ground. Alright, I'll join. As he said this, Deku was filled with excitement. Deku turned his arms into mochi and pulled the entire crew into a big group hug. Alright, our family is growing. Let's set sail. Deku yelled, full of excitement, as his crew joined him. Yeah, for a new world! They all yelled, ready to set sail and start their journey. End of Chapter 3. If you guys like that story, please comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.